All right. The recording is on. Welcome, everybody. The date is September 16th, 2020. This is the SIG Contributor Experience weekly meeting. I'm your host, George Castro. Before we get started, the Kubernetes Code of Conduct is in effect, so please be excellent to each other. We're going to do a quick new contributor intro here. I'm going to have some of the regulars introduce themselves, and then all the new people, if you want to, you can introduce yourself as well. So let's go Jenny, Josh, Tim, if you would introduce yourselves. And then anybody else who's a regular that wants to introduce themselves as an exercise, feel free to do so. So go ahead in that order.
Sure. Hi, Pat. Welcome. And all the other new ones. I'm Jenny. I'm from Berlin, Germany. I'm head of engineering, so I'm looking more for leadership opportunities and coaching at Kubernetes here. Not so much coding.
I'm Josh. I'm part of our Portland contingent. Theoretically, I'm currently on new contributor workshop and Slack admins, and I think that's actually it currently for ContribEx stuff. But I've rotated around quite a few things.
You're technically in events right now with elections.
Yeah, I don't think elections should be regarded as an event. Oh, right. Yeah, that's the other important thing, but we'll talk about the election later. It's on the agenda for later.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm Tim Pepper. I'm also a Portlander. Josh Burkus got me into this SIG, actually, and I'm drinking my coffee from a mug that he made because I was on his 1.11 Kubernetes release team, and that was the swag from the team. So yeah, I work on SIG release related things, but have been active in this SIG because I kind of have a passion for helping other people get started in open source and communities. It also was part of my day job at VMware, but strangely, it's something that somebody named Pat Gon helped teach me years ago when she was my manager as an engineer.
Oh, I didn't know you were his manager. I want to know all those stories. Anyone else want to introduce themselves before we get to the new people? Joel and Eric, are you Portlanders too? One of you? Both of you?
Both of us, yeah.
This is literally SIG Portland, so I can't find another person. All right, anybody else new?
I'm Sergey. I've been here a couple of times already. I'm new to Kubernetes space, but I've been very active on OpenTelemetry, and I just have a big passion for helping people contribute, and here I am. Okay. I'm primarily on SIG-Node right now.
Excellent. As I tweeted, always happy to have people working on SIG-Node. Pat, if you're looking for something to do, ask Tim Pepper about SIG-Node. He'll spin you up on everything you need. Anybody else want to introduce themselves before we get started? Pat?
You me? Okay, I'm not sure. I wasn't sure. Okay, all right, I'm here. So I am Pat Gon. I am in Portland, which is officially, I guess we have this Portland SIG now. Anyway, yeah, I've known Tim forever. So I have worked around open source my whole career. Much of that has been, I started out as a developer, and then much of that time has been managing open source developers and helping them succeed upstream. So I, like Jenny said, I'm more like focused on the leadership and helping others, and that's what I want to do. I have worked around Kubernetes for quite a while. When I worked at Canonical, you know, we were all in that. I was working with the various clouds on their Kubernetes offering, and now here at Influx, we have a SaaS offering that I'm in charge of. That's in all the major clouds, and underneath it is Kubernetes. And so I'm just interested to get involved, and I'm actually really excited. You guys are awesome. So I'm looking forward to like hanging out with Tim again, and you, George, and the rest of you. So.
Yes. Yeah, and for those of you listening on the video, just you don't have to be an engineer to contribute here or a coder or everything. Skill sets like I've worked with Pat for a long time, and just her organizational skill is just like, that can help us out a lot. So those of you listening, like we don't just need hackers, right? We need program management people, we need documentation writers, we need copywriters, we need all sorts of stuff. So don't feel like you need to be an awesome
if you love metrics and Grafana and things like that, we have this wonderful project called DevStats that we're trying to
there you go.
We will get there. All right, cool. So let's get started. Could someone PM Pat how to join the Slack channel and all that stuff? That would be fantastic.
Oh yeah, I'll get that sorted.
Yeah. Okay. So anybody else want to introduce themselves? We'll move on. Like I said, I know everybody's been pinging and busy today, so if we finish early, that'll be fine. Office hours. Let's go through events real quick. Office hours. Had a session this morning, and we actually got a West Coast edition that is happening today. It's going to be 5 p.m. PT. We have 5 people, but I always like to have 2 extras if I can, so I put out a call for Twitter for more people. So if you know anyone who's on the left coast looking for SRE style folks, or just anyone who knows Kubernetes, we had a good session this morning, about 150 people unique, which is a good session for us. So other than that, nothing new happening there. For the community meeting, that is tomorrow. This is the monthly community meeting. I'll be tweeting out the YouTube URL and putting that in the ContribEx channel and all that good stuff. Our host is going to be Eddie Zane from Amazon, and he managed to wrangle Jordan Liggett to do a demo tomorrow of the new warnings. When you type the CLI command and there's a deprecated API, we like warn people now, and I really love this feature. So tomorrow's going to be a great community meeting. Please help us socialize that and let people know. And with that, we're moving on to contributor summits. Bob, I don't think we have any updates here.
No, I still need to send the survey and stuff out. It's just been too many things going on right now.
Yep. Steering committee election.
Yep. So the voting has started. When I checked about an hour ago, we were at 185 people having voted.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty good considering that we just started sending out the ballots on Monday morning.
That is not bad.
What's the total eligible again? What's the total eligible voters again this time around?
I counted 747.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will also send out a notice, particularly because we happen to know that our list of emails for contributors is wildly inaccurate. And one of the questions that I actually had for ContribEx is whether or not we need to do anything about it. Do we use contributor emails for anything other than the steering election?
I don't.
There's the leads lists and things like that, but I wouldn't consider that,
registration
broad.
for Contrib Summit, which is not a problem right now. I think we use emails for that, right?
Yeah, emails rather than GitHub handles?
We technically use both.
Okay. So we get a lot of our list of emails from this thing called CNCF Git DM. It's their fork of Get data mining. Turns out to have some problems. If we wanted to improve the accuracy of our email to GitHub handle mapping, it would basically at this point be a people effort. That is, we'd put out a big call and have a form and have everybody check the records and update it with what their actual emails are, et cetera. And I'm just wondering whether or not that's worth doing, because our plan is not to use email for the steering committee election again. And if we're not using it for that, do we care about it for anything else?
No.
I would very much like to get the entire project out of the email business. No more spreadsheets.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I think. For the notes, do you have a link to the proposal for the app for GitHub?
Yeah, I'll put that in the notes. I'll put that in the notes.
Can you give everyone a TLDR?
Oh, right, and that is a ContribEx thing, right? Because it's mentorship too. So our plan is to have a concordant voting system that uses external OAuth, particularly GitHub, so that people can just log in with their GitHub accounts that have been pre-authorized, and then use that to vote. And that will be so much easier.
Mm-hmm. And Josh has a proposal into the CNCF to fund this, so we would.
Yeah, via Community Bridge. And even though it's not accepted yet, I've already had 3 potential interns approach me, all of whom appear qualified. So
That is
I
excellent.
think we're in good shape for that.
Now, would that actually be a Kubernetes community bridge project, or would that be a general CNCF one?
I think it could be a general CNCF one because what we're proposing to construct is fairly generic. Like
Yeah,
I
that's
basically said the spec is external OAuth, right? Like we plan to use GitHub, but other projects may want to use something else. And it's honestly these days easier to build that kind of mechanism generic than tie it to GitHub. So the only Kubernetes spec part is I'm saying as part of the spec, right? They are required to do concordant Schultz election accounting as part of the app.
Yeah.
Right.
Having the app support other kinds of election accounting would be a stretch goal, right? I don't consider that a requirement. So that kind of ties into Kubernetes, except that I know at least 3 other projects that are using within CNCF that are using that form of election accounting. So
yeah, and the reason we picked that format is because that's what like Debian and all other.
Listen, we devised it. Back in the day, we devised that particular kind of election accounting for the SPI because it was specifically designed to reduce contentious election picks.
Yep.
So, which was kind of critical for SPI at the time.
Yeah, yeah. So I think this is great. I think this is a tool like thinking about the CNCF landscape. If someone wants to run an election, they would just connect to this, and I think it'd be a great use of funds and stuff like that. So that is great.
Yeah.
We have an open telemetry election in October. Do you think it will be at least in a version that can be useful?
No. Okay. No, they don't even pick the community bridge projects until September 21st. And however,
Steve,
if you want to jump into the mentorship project, and provide some feedback on this is what a second CNCF project needs, particularly since I only have the stub spec right now, I don't have the full spec, you would be welcome to do so.
I think just saying that the project would be interested in something like that. Like if in that issue, we can get a bunch of CNCF projects saying, I would use this, I would use this.
There's the CNCF maintainers list. It might be worth just sending a broad email out to that. Because if there's the other thing is like, even if the app is developed, it will still need some infrastructure technically to host it. So that might be a great offering for the CNCF or LF directly.
Yeah. Like I envision elections.cncf.io/Prometheus or something.
Yeah. They could even tie it in with their SSO.
Yeah. Be dope. Cool. All right. Anything else about that? I think that's great.
That's it. Otherwise, elections are going on. For anybody who is listening, reading this, if you have not received your ballot by now, that is because we do not have a good email address for you. And so I'll also put this in the notes. There is a form for you to put your GitHub handle and your correct email address in, and we will get you a ballot.
Okay, anything else? All right, moving into mentorship, but Ihor said he's going to be late, so I'm going to skip mentorship for now and get back to it when Ihor gets here. Anyone have a problem with that? Okay. Community management, need to know chairs and technical leads email. Bob and George, I think we're behind on this because we've been concentrating on the Zoom thing.
But that's honestly the big thing as it is anyway.
Okay.
So for those that might not have seen like the list, the email to KDev, essentially TLDR is Zoom is going to enforce either a passcode or waiting room on all accounts on September 27th. So we collectively as a project have decided to use the passcode, and it is 5 7s, despite what anyone else says or says it might be. Please, if you have anything involved in a SIG meeting, it is use 5 7s.
3, 4, 5. Okay, I got it in the notes. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Okay. And I've been telling chairs, hey, you want to do this, but if you don't, you'll still be able to have your meeting. It'll just be really annoying because you'll have to manage a waiting room and things like that. And LTS said they're planning on closing down before that happens, right, Tim? Hopefully.
Maybe. Discussion next week at the SIG release meeting.
Gotcha. All right. Anything else? Does anybody have anything that they would like for us to add to the SIG /TL newsletter? Anything that the chairs stuff need to know? We got the Zoom stuff in there. Hold on. Let me look at the. If you click through, you can see what the on deck preview are. Volunteers for NCW. The election news I think are covered on the Kubernetes dev list, so there's no actions there for them. And last I checked on the unconscious bias training for chairs, that seems to be going well. So I don't think we have anything but the fire of the Zoom fire to put out. Hey, and Don's here. Say hello, Don.
Hey there. I'm horribly late.
Yeah, can you intro yourself, or you're trying to get in the mood?
Yeah. So I'm Dawn Foster, Director of Community Strategy at VMware. I've done lots of community stuff over the years. I'm particularly interested in governance these days. So I'm working with Josh Burkus on the CNCF Contributor Strategy SIG Governance Working Group.
Dope. And she does not live in Portland, unlike everyone else in the meeting, apparently.
I used to live in Portland, though. Now I'm in London.
Right.
I did. I lived in Portland for 11 years.
I forgot. Huh. Man, open source. So small. All right. Any other questions for community management? Is the APAC coordinator update? I don't think anyone's here, but if you scroll down in the document, they have their notes from their last meeting that you can check out. Let's see. Dev stats. Lori sends her regrets. She's not able to attend today and says she has no status. Is someone from the marketing team here? We have a marketing update. I was unable to attend on Friday. But just a reminder that if you want the Kate's contributor Twitter handle to tweet something, you just do a pull request on their repo, and it's pretty dope. I recommend it. So I'll put no update here. Contributor documentation, contributor guide. Bob, can you go first while I finish out the notes here?
Sure. This I think could have also gone under mentoring, but we have our Season of Docs mentee, Rin, who is working on updating our contributor guide, both sort of from an, broad overview in its organization to also sort of like universally applying our style guide and giving it one consistent tone and formatting. This will become a bit more important as we surface more of this sort of thing on the contributor site.
Okay. Those of you, Rin is in the Slack channel. Those of you who have hung out with them before, they've come to meetings and stuff like that. So if you see pull requests and stuff like that, please check them out and help if you can. Anything else, contributor guide?
No, not really. I've been busy.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Me too. Developer guide, Eric Joel. I would love to talk about the blog post when we get a chance after whatever status you're giving.
Okay, well, I don't really have any more updates except for that. I wrote a blog post.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess our contract is wrapping up this week, so I'm planning to stick around, but I don't know how much time I will have to put into stuff here, but I'll be here if you guys need like help editing or writing or things like that.
Yeah, I will as well. It's been so fantastic, and I get kind of addicted to learning, and I learn so much. So I cannot go up and watch and contribute to other stuff. I'm kind of interested in how we can kind of provide some more information design elsewhere.
That'll actually be like critical with how we want to present the developer guide on the contributor site, because like we don't have to mirror how it's structured in the community repo. We can organize it how we want on the contributor site. So like if you think there's a better layout for it or like better organization structure for it, we can do that without actually having to try and update the stuff in place.
Yeah, I think
I don't know what it would be yet, but like I'm down to figure that out.
Well, I think that one of the things we definitely ran into was a little bit of frustration at having the developer guide be presented as like markdown files inside GitHub. So having the website experience, I think that'll be cool. Yeah, so we'll be here.
Yeah. So here's the PR. I'll put it in the notes because so you all PR'd this for the developer site, which is kates.dev. But from looking at it, I know that we're supposed to have a blog on kates.dev and there's going to be an audience there. But this blog is really good, and I think it should just be on the main Kubernetes blog. So if you all just want to do a PR for that, Bob and I are on the blog team. We can get you a review and just get it out there soon.
Well, I was thinking, I saw your comment about that, but I was thinking, why don't you put the original on the contributor site and then on the Kubernetes blog, point to the contributor site, because since there's so much concern about getting more contributors, you want to have traffic to the contributor site.
Yeah, my concern is like...
Sound like marketer.
Yeah, would people dig just having like an official blog post, just being like, look over here?
True.
Right.
I don't know.
We definitely shouldn't copy the content because the search Google will crush us.
You could do it the other way, Eric. The developers might be a little bit more motivated to flip over to the main blog or contributors. Sorry. So maybe we could kind of take Eric's architecture, but swap it so it goes to the main blog, and then there's a link to it.
Oh, from the other way around, you're saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me. I'll take a look at that. Can you send me the link to the Kubernetes blog Git repo GitHub thingy? You know, the place to do the PR.
We'll hook you up.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
You're in luck. It's all Hugo and Markdown.
It's even using Doxy, same engine.
Yeah, same everything.
Cool. Well, this was the first time I'd ever really looked at Hugo, but it was pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I thought I could find it, but I can't. But I know Bob probably has it already.
I'll ping him on Slack.
Yeah, and then I'll link that up. Any questions for Eric and Joel? I still want you to come to a KubeCon though, because we never got the full experience. So,
well, have it in Portland. It'll be easy.
All right, contributor site, Bob, George. I think we basically covered that.
Yep.
Okay. GitHub management, Bob. You're the only one from that team here, so.
Not much of an update at this point in time. I think we've given Kube AWS till the end of the month to migrate whatever they want to migrate before we archive the repo, and then incubate. Sorry, this is with regard to retiring Kubernetes Incubator. Mm-hmm. And once that repo is archived, we'll be done with Kubernetes Incubator. It'll just have taken 2.5 or I think approaching 3 years.
That's pretty good for open source. It's pretty good. All right. Anything else? All right, Slack infra. Nothing really new to report. Things are jamming. We are still. I just wanted to share one number that surprised me the other day. 1 second. Yeah. Oh, Kubernetes users is now at 106,000 people. I thought once we hit 100,000, it would level off. But it continues to be growing really fast. So I just thought that was very interesting. I just wanted to share that with everyone. I remember when we crossed 100,000 and it was just like, whoa, that's nuts. So I just want to let everyone know on that. Next, we have open mic discussion. Eddie Zane had something for the group, but he was having a hard time making it to the meeting, so I don't know if he's going to make it. This just looks like the usual Hacktoberfest label PROW support. Didn't someone bring this up last year? I remember. I'm looking in Bob's general direction for Hacktoberfest. I don't remember what we did.
I don't think we did anything.
Yeah, I don't think we made them a label. Yeah, I think we just basically said, check these out. With that, does anyone have any open agenda items? what they would like to discuss.
General comment that we didn't get to last time, with 1.20 kicking up, we do need to schedule what we want to do for planning wise for 1.20. There's a couple of big things. Zoom is taking over things right now, but there is other things we want to get done ideally in 1.20, like the rewrite of the approved plugin. So maybe next week we can do a sort of, look through our 119 milestone, reevaluate things for 1.20, or if, it should be punted to the backlog. The big thing, like in general, if you take a look at it, we actually got through quite a bit. We really sort of churned through the ContribEx backlog of items, and there's still a good amount left, but like we are
okay, considering.
we are chunking it down.
Yeah. Hey Eddie, we'll finish up the item we're talking about, and then we'll loop back to your label. Yeah, so everyone, and we'll put this in the notes. Let's just say next week will be milestone planning. What we'll do is we'll burn through the burn down stuff like as fast as possible, and then just suck it up and go through the boards and all the milestones. Does that sound doable for folks? All right. Your silence is your approval.
Yep. For the sub projects that have their own meetings, we can delegate, them going through their stuff for that.
Yeah. For sure.
The other thing is, if you are a sub project owner and need K community milestone rights, let me know and we can PR that.
Got you. Let me put that in the notes. In the meantime, Eddie, we come to your topic. I'm going to mute now and finish up the notes here. If you make your pitch.
Awesome. Cheers. Thanks for, sorry I was late. I was in a 6CLI meeting. So I guess first off, the question is, have folks heard of Hacktoberfest before, or does that need a bit of a background? Anyone not too familiar? TLDR is, sorry, go ahead. Okay,
no, TLDR, do it for the video.
TLDR is Hacktoberfest is a month-long celebration of open source started by DigitalOcean and GitHub. Full disclosure, I used to work at DigitalOcean. I no longer do, but it was it basically brings new contributors into projects. If you make, I think it's 4 or 5 pull requests throughout the month of October, you get a free, pretty sweet T-shirt. People go nuts over it. I think there were 80,000 completions last year, and they shipped out 80,000 shirts. This came up in a 6CI call last week, where Jeff Regan brought up that he has a bunch of customized issues that are tagged help wanted, and he wanted to get some eyes on it. And so basically what I'm proposing is if we add support for a /Hacktoberfest label to Prowl, it's completely opt-in. It adds the Hacktoberfest label, which the Hacktoberfest website surfaces every single issue by programming language and breaks it down pretty nicely, and showcases all the issues that are actually tagged Hacktoberfest. And it's a great way to get some exposure to some issues and hopefully bring in some new contributors. The effort required is literally just adding the /Hacktoberfest label. So I wanted to bring up that proposal as an option.
So both Nikita and Christoph are missing, which are 2 of the sub-project leads for GitHub. That leaves Bob. You're the third
Yep.
person. So
I'm a little hesitant about it, at least for KK. We have 200 some odd labels on there already. And while we do have good first issue and help wanted, the getting things directly in there is a challenge and might not necessarily be the best thing to surface for people if it's their first contribution to the project. It's something we could I'd like to hear like other thoughts, at least for like KK. There are other repos and things like that like it probably would be quite worthwhile. Does anyone else have thoughts on it?
I think we might have to move this conversation to Slack where Christoph and Nikita are. Are you aware of the GitHub management Slack channel, Eddie?
No, but I can join it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
if you hop in there, I'll introduce you to Christoph and Nikita, and then we'll loop them in asynchronously, and then we'll just do that.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Also, Eddie, can you introduce yourself real quick since you're hosting the community meeting tomorrow? Everybody, welcome, Eddie.
Hi, I'm Eddie Zaneski. I work for Amazon Web Services as a developer advocate. I'm based out in Denver, Colorado. Like I said, I used to work for DigitalOcean, which is where I actually got involved with Kubernetes. When DigitalOcean was building and launching their managed platform back in 2018, it was the first I really heard of it before. And so I kind of jumped into the community, went to a bunch of KubeCons, eventually wound up at the Contributor Summit in San Diego, where I got connected to Mache and Sean Sullivan, the chairs of 6CLI. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I kind of jumped in and have been working with 6CLI since. I'm an org member now, which is pretty great. Awesome. I'm stoked. And yeah.
See, everyone, contributor summits work.
It was at the Meet the SIG specifically where I met
Really?
them.
Oh, yep. Dude, you just made my day.
Awesome.
There are times where I was like, oh, is this all worth it? It totally is. It totally is. That's good. That's good. All right. And with that, Ihor, we're going to have you close out if you would today. Can you give us a quick update on mentorship and outreach, GSOC, all that good stuff?
I can. Early. So we had Google Summer of Code closed a few weeks ago, and the announcement blog post is coming tomorrow. So no more news with GSOC this year. Everybody did a great job, and in total we had 16 successful mentees this year. Another big update is about the community bridge. We have the Q3, Q4 round launching this week. So we officially kicked off it a few weeks ago, and we've started accepting proposals by the projects. And we have 2 proposals from Kubernetes, and we'll announce the final list of the accepted projects next Monday. One of these proposals I have to mention went directly from the contributor experience group with the proposal to develop the enhanced functionality for the election process. So Josh Burkus can comment on that more, but we had some issues with trying to get the actual data from GitHub on who is eligible to vote. So hopefully we'll be able to have some people, some interns to work on that for the Kubernetes community. That's it on the mentoring side from me.
Awesome. Any questions for Ihor? All right. And with that, any other open agenda items or anything before we close it up and give you like 22 minutes back? Look at that. That's a good one. All right. Let's wrap it up then. Pat, Eddie, again, welcome. Anybody else? Funny joke? Whatever? We saying goodbye? What do you think, Pat? Are you scared? Eddie, are you scared? Now that you've gone through the meeting, are you like, whoa?
This was actually my second introduction to ContribEx, awesome. But
oh, okay, great.
It's good. My first, but I'm not easily scared, so I'm here.
Excellent, excellent. All right, with that, we'll give you some time back. Thanks, everyone, and remember, community meeting tomorrow. It'll be a good one.
Happy Wednesday.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.